And then, for some reason, she handed me a popsicle stick instead. Wait, what the frick? I've never seen her smile before. What the heck? Setting down Sedaton, I sluggishly got up from my chair and found a plastic cord lying under my bed. Oh frick, was this, if you chose the neutral option, he was just gonna do this? Oh my gosh. Offer your child so that we may bathe in the salvation of the divine light. Yo, what the frick kind of Molech frickin' Asherah pole building frickin' ball worshipping people are these? How's it going, everybody? HoodlaMutt here, back with some more Chaos Head Noah. And last time, we've just been getting through the Crying Sky ending, trying to get to it. I'm assuming we're just like, you know, this is technically not the ending. It's just the steps leading to the ending. And right now we are in Chapter 6, which is where I can get the bad ending, so I'm going to have to like really focus when the decision comes along. But right now we are looking for a particular like delusion. So until we find it, I guess we're just going to speed through this as usual. So without further ado, let's just get into this, shall we? Oh, okay. This is... Okay, I think this is not one of them, but this is something I think I did neutral on. I don't think I did good or bad. No, I think I did bad. I think I did bad because I assumed it was going to be bad. No? Did I? Wait, I can't remember now. We'll do neutral just for now. Whose phone was ringing? But with the timing, what else could it be? I shook my head. I had never heard Nanami's ringtone, so there was no proof that the melody I was hearing was it. No proof at all. I was getting scared now. I pressed my phone back to my ear. Did I do neutral? I don't remember. Let's see. I did not. I did do the bad one. Okay, I couldn't remember. Nanami still wasn't answering. Please pick up. Pick up the phone already. Maybe I should call my parents instead. That'd be the fastest way to get a hold of her. Ignoring the murderous ringtone I had been hearing for the last few seconds, I hung up the phone. It stopped. The mysterious ringtone stopped. My room suddenly grew quiet. It wasn't completely exact, but I was still sure of one thing. The song stopped. At almost the exact same time. I'd hung up the call. What? I was becoming more and more confused. Not knowing what else to do, I started looking around the room over and over again. But no matter how much I looked around, my brain refused to process any of it. I was just making myself dizzy. My mind had gone completely blank. Once again, I tried calling Nanami. Maybe this time, the ringtone won't play, and Nanami will answer the phone. In my days, those were the faint hopes I clung to. Are we good? Is this it? I think that was it. I think we're good. We're not good. Never mind. Only for those hopes to be swiftly crushed. Less than 2 seconds after the call started, the happy-go-lucky melody started playing once more. There was no mistaking it. I couldn't avert my eyes from reality anymore. It's in this room. Alright, I think that's it. It's not, that's not it, never mind. Nanami's phone was in this room. But why? Had Nanami forgotten it here? Or... P.S. Before I forget, did you get my present? This wasn't happening. It couldn't be. It didn't matter how much sense it made, it just couldn't be true. I slowly lowered the hand holding my phone. I couldn't even blink. My throat was dry as a desert. Even still, I searched for the source of the sound. Okay, there we go. Now we can skip. I keep checking it just to see. But, yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure I don't screw this up. So, I have to... Let me make sure. So, to proceed with... Okay. To get the bad ending, invert the answers below. To proceed with the common route, select this. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, I do have it again. So, yes, I saw a sword. I distinctly saw a sword. If I move from here, I can take it. Yeah, I remember that screwed me up last time. I can see the sword from other places than here, no. That screwed me up too. It's not actually a sword. Yes. That was the worst one. That one made me upset. But anyway, now we're flying through this again. Ah, okay. This is the next one. And we have to answer negatively. So this is one we gotta answer negatively. In fact, both of Chapter 7's are negative, so I guess we'll see where this takes us, because I know for a fact I didn't do negative here. So I guess we'll see what's up here. Regardless, why had I been brought here? If Hazuki-san was here, then that meant this was my normal hospital. It wasn't like me being brought to a general hospital was particularly weird, but something still didn't feel right. Why was Hazuki-san coming to check on me? That question really bothered me. I mean, Hazuki-san was a psychiatric nurse. If Hazuki-san was coming to check on me, didn't that mean that the room I was in was also used by psychiatric patients? Alright, here we go. Oh, her eyes. I've been informed that the police would like to speak with you. Huh? Hazuki's gentle tone turned cold. Without looking at me, she continued writing something on a piece of paper attached to a clipboard. You would have to be a really horrible person to kill your own sister. What had she just said? They found her in your house. Her corpse. Oh, yo. What? You cut off your sister's hand and carried it around with you. That's not normal. I didn't kill anyone! So you've claimed. The detective has been complaining about how useless it is to converse with you. You say nothing but incomprehensible nonsense. Are you intending to plead not guilty by reason of insanity? Even if you do, it won't help. Everyone knows. You killed her. My chest squeezed tightly, and I began to hallucinate that everything before my eyes had gone completely black. I was starting to doubt myself. Had I killed Nanami? No, that couldn't be true. You murderer! She had been writing something, but suddenly Hazuki's hand stopped. She then slowly turned the clipboard toward me. Oh no! Yo, what the frick? What was that? Suddenly, I realized I was sitting in the same bed, In the same hospital room. I wasn't sure why the sheet I'd just ripped off of me was still on me. Hazuki-san, who had been standing right beside the bed, had disappeared before I could even blink. Wiping the greasy sweat off my forehead, I looked around the hospital room once again. After a couple knocks, Hazuki-san entered the room, and her eyes widened slightly upon seeing me.
I see you've woken up, Nishijo-san.
A gentle smile accompanied her as she said that. I stiffened up, then looked away.
How are you feeling?
Hazuki-san held out a thermometer to me so naturally, I couldn't help but take it.
Could you please stick this under your arm for me?
As I took the thermometer from her, I gulped. It's the same. The exact thing from before was repeating. It was as if Hazuki-san had just walked into the hospital room for the first time. I nervously reached for the thermometer in my underarm. I was sure I had put a thermometer in there just a minute ago, and yet there was nothing there. The thermometer had disappeared, which meant that what I'd seen earlier really had been a delusion. The tension in my body disappeared, but that didn't mean that my state of mind was any better, nor that I felt anywhere close to relieved.
A family member of yours came to see you yesterday, but as you didn't regain consciousness in time, they left at around midnight.
That's got to be the end, right? Yeah, okay, that's it. All right, there we go. All right, interesting. All right, this, I believe, is the right one, and we have to pick negative again. So here we go. Hey, if you want mine, here. I timidly held out my winning stick.
I have no intention of accepting handouts. I'm merely experimenting with my own possibilities. But Senna-shan's heart says she really wants it, you know?
You can have it. I don't eat a whole lot of popsicles. Uh-oh. Oh no. What's gonna happen? I'd said it with good intentions in mind, but Senna simply took one look at me before ignoring the offer. And then, for some reason, she handed me a popsicle stick instead. Wait, what the frick? I've never seen her smile before. What the heck? That's the first time we saw her smile. That's weird. Huh? She made no attempt to explain herself either. I wasn't sure what she was expecting, since I wasn't exactly going to get ecstatic over a losing popsicle stick that didn't even belong to me. Was she silently ordering me to toss it into the trash can near the convenience store or something? Considering it was her and all, it certainly was in the realm of possibility. Senna must have had a whole host of meek male subjects that she used to do her dirty work. She was pretty much insulting me to my face. But just the thought of what she'd do if I defied her scared me far too much. So I just bit my lip and put up with it.
I won.
Her gaze fixed on the sky that peaked between the buildings. Senna declared her supposed victory. With a sigh, I inadvertently looked down at the losing popsicle stick and gasped. Oh! What the heck was this?
It came out last week. An exclusive Shibuya one. It's worth more than a normal winning stick.
Senna had a smug expression on her face as she explained. Was she just trying to brag?
And I won.
What the heck kind of competition had she even won? And besides, I didn't want anything to do with these winning sticks, especially with how in poor taste they were. I was tempted to snap the stick right in half on the spot, but I swallowed back my anger and returned it to Senna.
More importantly, you are Takumi-san.
Wait, so was that it? That was it? Oh, that was it. What? That's interesting. So it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was whose eyes are those eyes. That's freaking interesting. Huh. Oh, it stopped me. What the heck? Okay, so this is right when we're seeing Hazuki-san's drawing when we found it on her clipboard after we were having bad headaches. So let's see what this is. And on the 7th page. Is it going to be whose eyes are those eyes? No way it is! Oh, okay. Yeah, it has something to do with that. That's what this ending has. It has something to do with that. That's interesting. That was really quick, too. Just a quick little... Interesting. I think I chose neutral for this, but we'll find out.
At least 4 delusions synchronized then. Yours, mine, the new gen culprits, and...
Like I'd believe that! Before she could continue, I cut her off. I then covered my ears and closed my eyes. This is all a delusion. Yeah. It has to be. It's a delusion. Just like always.
Please, don't have any more delusions.
Oh, I don't know if I did pick that for this, did I? No, I didn't. I didn't pick neutral. All right, so I guess we gotta go through this now. She spoke in a quiet yet serious, imperative tone. I gulped.
Otherwise, I'll have no choice but to erase you, Taku.
You're gonna kill me? A chill ran down my spine. My perception of Bimi, the girl I'd thought would save me, was rapidly spiraling. Now, she was turning into someone completely unrecognizable to me. I think that's it. It was it. Okay, so it was just that quick little thing. Okay. Got you. I think I picked neutral for this, but we'll find out. Despite that, she was all I had left. Bimi had left me. I didn't know where Nanami was. Senna had attacked me. Kozupi hadn't protected me. Yua was my enemy. And Ayase was hospitalized. These were the only girls I knew the names of, and none of them would do anything for me. Reality was harsh. It didn't give a crap about a monster like me. With my trembling hands, I tightened my grip on Seiratan. Then tighter. Then tighter. Tight enough to break her. I wanted to disappear completely. If that was how I thought, shouldn't I just act? Ultimately, I was just playing the tragic protagonist right now. Even if I was overcome with sorrow, no one was going to empathize with me. Nobody was looking at me. Nobody was here for me. They had all abandoned me. No, I didn't have any real bonds. There was no one in my life I could count as a friend. I didn't even have a family. I was a fake, after all. I'm just talking nonsense at this point. Just shut up and die already. Setting down Sedaton, I sluggishly got up from my chair and found a plastic cord lying under my bed. Oh frick, was this, if you chose the neutral option, he was just gonna do this? Oh my gosh! I picked it up, made a ring big enough for my head to fit in, and tied the other end to a pipe of the loft bed. I'm gonna do it. I really am. I'm gonna do it, so... There was no one here to stop me. But of course there wasn't. I was the only one in this room. I managed to secure the plastic cord quite well. Dying is surprisingly easy, I thought to myself. I put my head inside the ring and tightened it around my neck. Normally, you couldn't hang yourself just from a loft bed. It wasn't high enough. But if I kicked my legs out from under me, then height wasn't an issue. What I needed was the resolve to die. Now at the end, I looked over at Sedaton, who smiled at me from atop my desk. Starting with Sedaton, my waifus lined up on the shelves would be the ones that would see me to the other side. I was struck by sorrow. Loneliness filled my heart. I felt a twinge in my nose. Goodbye. Placing all my weight on the cord, I kicked my legs out. The cord started strangling me. It was putting immense pressure on my neck. It dug into my flesh, hard. It hurts! Before I knew it, I was unconsciously trying to relieve the pressure with my fingers. I moved my legs back into place, then went to stand up. But if I did that, I wouldn't be able to die. If I didn't keep all my weight on the cord, I wouldn't be strangled. So I endured it. Dude, this is frickin' dark. What the frick? My throat hurt. Rather than being unable to breathe, the pain of it digging into my neck was the worst part. Hurry up. Hurry up and die already. The suffering continued. It was so immense, I couldn't even pass out. My body swayed aimlessly. Around and around it swayed, my legs kicking up and down. The pipe on my loft bed started creaking. And suddenly, my body lost all support. And I violently crashed to the floor, landing flat on my rear. The impact I felt in the bones of my pelvis made me writhe in pain. And at the same time, I was desperately sucking in air. As tears welled up in my eyes, I looked up at the cord that had been tied to my bed, only to find that it had snapped in two at the center. What the frick? What the frick? Of all times for me to fail. Why at the very end when it mattered most? I knew I was beyond saving. A good-for-nothing loser that hadn't managed to accomplish even a single noteworthy thing in his entire life. Not that I was a person to begin with. But to fail even when trying to die. It was just too much. Why couldn't I die? Even though I wanted to die. Even though I wanted to die! Now that I knew how painful it was to be hanged, I would never have the will nor the courage to attempt it again. Someone, anyone, teach me a way I can die in peace. Please. Seeing my shameless tendency to rely on others rear its head once more, I was hit with a wave of nausea. I really was. Completely and entirely useless. Wow, that was freaking dark as crap, dude. Oh my goodness gracious. Is this new? This isn't probably new anymore, right? This is all old stuff now? Yeah, this is all old stuff. And then he runs into you. Oh, wow, yeah, that was friggin' dark. Holy crap. Okay, this is another one, and we're supposed to pick the positive option. So that is what we will do, and then we shall see where this takes us. That voice. It couldn't be. How?
You big jerk!
There was no way I'd misheard that. Out of every girl that visited my base, there was only one moron that would scream outside of it like that. Nanami was here. I was somewhat surprised at how indifferent I felt in response to that fact. I just didn't care. What would her coming here while I was this far gone even do for me? Besides, it wasn't like it was out of the ordinary for Nanami to come here. Hadn't Dimi said that she was going to rescue her anyway?
If you don't open the door right now, then you're really mean.
The noise was starting to irritate me. Just leave a monster like me alone. Nanami should have been focused on her right hand, not me. Not that I knew what happened to it. I didn't have it in me to talk to anyone anymore.
Hey!
But she was being too loud, so I was forced to get up from my chair and head for the door. The door seemed oh so far away to me, which made me realize I was scared to see her. All right, let's see.
Oh, there you are.
That's like the beginning.
Routine survival check.
As I opened the door, Nanami smiled and waved at me. I froze in place. She was acting way too normal. She was acting way too energetic. I'd seen it. A white bandage wrapped around her right wrist. So why? I then remembered the phone call I'd gotten a few hours earlier. The pained voice asking me to give her right hand back. And now, the smile she had right now, and the bandage around her right wrist, contradicted each other. Nanami was contradicting herself. Oh, I see. She was also a delusion. She had to be. I'd never had a little sister named Nanami to begin with. I got it now. That had to be it. Interesting, so he realized it this time. After ignoring her and heading back into my room, I sat down on the sofa. I once again took hold of my Sedaton figure and gripped her tight. So tight, in fact, that my hand hurt slightly. But it didn't matter, because that pain, too, was a delusion.
What's wrong, big bro? You don't look like you're doing too hot.
Everything in this world was made up of delusions. Delusions developed only within my mind. Both me and this delusion I was looking at were fake.
Were you up playing games all night? You really need to start acting more like a person and less like you're nocturnal or something.
Up.
Huh? What'd you say?
Shut up.
Hey, you don't have to talk to me like that, you know. Do you think I'm gonna let you say whatever you want just because you're my brother?
Shut up. You delusionary sister.
Delusionary?
I surrendered my body to the sofa and looked up at the ceiling. With no particular goal in mind, I started counting the rusty spots. I didn't want to look at Nanami. I'd only feel empty if I did. Well, not that I cared about whether I felt empty or not, given I was just a delusionary existence.
Hey, big bro, are you okay? You're not really acting like yourself.
Worrying about me like a good little sister, huh? My delusional sister was worried about me. That fact alone filled me with anger. Besides, who was she to have come in my room like she owned the place?
Oh, I know. You're hungry, aren't you?
I gritted my teeth.
What are you in the mood for? I can make something.
Take it off.
You want takeout? Oh, come on.
No one said a thing about takeout.
Just let me make you something. How's fried chicken sound? I've never made it on my own before, though. Not that I'm doing this because you asked for it. I was just in the mood for some fried chicken, and I don't want to go out for it, that's all.
This Nanami was really annoying. The fact that she was so similar to the real one wasn't something I could ignore. Wait, did a real Nanami even exist in the first place? Then what was this Nanami? Real? The real Nanami? My head became a mess. So I stopped thinking. I didn't care anymore. At the end of the day, everything was a delusion. Take off the bandage. Just take it off, you moron.
Bandage? Oh, this? I just fell and hurt myself. No big deal.
Just a fall? Was it true? Or was she lying? I would know if she took it off.
I swear, you're the most selfish person I know. But fine. Promise me that if I take the bandage off, you'll cheer up.
The sound of rustling cloth rang throughout the quiet room, followed by a ringing in my ears. My head hurt. These too were delusions, though, so I paid them no mind.
There. You happy now? Hello? I just went through the trouble of taking it off, so the least you could do is look at it.
I sluggishly lowered my gaze. Nanami had rolled up her uniform sleeve, and she was now sticking her right hand out toward me. and when I looked at her slender arm, I saw... What the frick? Oh, no. Yeah, it is Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes. Yep, they're trying to make me pick every Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes image. Interesting. Blood. Dripping blood. Bloody words had been cut into her arm, and they said, "Whose eyes are those eyes?" Oh, wow. Oh, I got a Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes, found all the Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes. That's interesting. Okay, so that was all of them. So yeah, that's so interesting. That's how we must get this ending then, is we had to see all of them. Huh. Okay. My vision flashed, and when it passed, just like that, the horrifying wound on her arm was gone. I'd been hyperventilating, so I moved to catch my breath. I forcefully bit my lip. Nanami was rubbing the arm she had taken the bandage off of.
Thankfully, the bruise is pretty much gone now. It was super swollen at first.
I didn't know whether that was the truth or not. Sure, there wasn't a wound there, but there had been before. I didn't understand anything anymore. I didn't want to think anymore. I once again laid my head on the sofa. Hey, Nanami? Without meeting her eyes, I called out to my sister. Or to the girl whose identity I wasn't sure of. I don't care whether you're real or fake. So... And this is when he asks her if she'll kill him, right? So this should be skippable. It's not, though. Okay. Right now, I only wanted one thing. Won't you kill me? Interesting. So that was all of the Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes thingy then. Okay, and this is all old stuff now, right? Yep, there we go. Huh. Oh, and here it is. This is the one. And for this last one, we need to be neutral. And I feel like I was. I think I was neutral. So I guess we'll find out. I think that was it, right? Yeah, so we did do that already, so I guess we'll just zoom until we get to the end, I guess? Like, where it's gonna stop me? Oh, okay, it stopped me. Okay, this is in, when Takumi goes to save, Kozupi and freaking Senna in the station, so I guess we'll see where this takes us. Shinsen Station of the Inokashira line was one stop from Shibuya, with it taking only about a minute to arrive there by train. The station itself was situated within an underground tunnel, resulting in the only natural light being the beams seeping in from the opening at the end of the platform. Due to the earthquake, all of the lights had gone out, enveloping the area in a far thicker darkness than usual. Carrying Orihara Kozue's body on her back, Aoi Senna set foot onto the platform. There had been no need to buy a ticket. Not a single staff member was present in the vicinity, and none of the ticket machines were in service. Only a glance was necessary to understand how horribly warped the railway tracks had become. It was no wonder that the trains had suspended operation the day before. Kozue's breathing would turn laborious at times, but she was far from conscious. Dried blood was caked on her forehead. During the earthquake, she had been caught in the wake of a collapsing building, and had not regained consciousness since. Oh, frick! That was... Oh, she was awake in the other one, so she was knocked out right now, or like... only half lucid or whatever. What the heck? Does that mean we won't hear her and come and save them? Uh-oh. Gigalomaniacs are unable to use their powers to heal wounds. To the brain, pain is an inescapable reminder of reality. Thus, Gigalomaniacs cannot form any sort of mutual recognition to the effect of, I'm not wounded, or the injury didn't happen. Human instinct would never allow it. Moreover, one cannot establish mutual recognition with someone who is unconscious. These reasons rendered Senna unable to assist Kozue. When they at last reached the deserted platform, Senna lowered Kozue from her back and gently laid her against the wall. Senna's expression was stiff. With only a single glance toward Kozue, she shifted her gaze back to the station premises. Glaring motionlessly at a certain point in the distance, she gritted her teeth. Finally. I finally found you. At the end of her gaze. Oh frick, he's there now! What? The heck is Narose doing there? What is happening? Oh my goodness? Okay. Wait, he's supposed to be with Nanami and Dimi, right? Okay. In the dark recesses of the platform, two figures stood shoulder to shoulder. One was a tall man wearing an expensive suit. His whole body exuded an aura of refinement. He had excellent posture, and a relaxed smile rested on his lips. The other one was a homeless man clad in filthy rags. His hair was unkempt and shaggy, and his face was covered in stubble. The man's head was hung low, rendering his expression difficult to accurately discern. Their appearances contrasted violently. But the two men did nothing but stand silently on the dim, empty station platform. Senna felt nothing but raw hatred toward the both of them. Narose Genichi and Hatano Issei. Even if she wanted to forget about them, she would never have been able to. So she knows Narose. Interesting. Oh, right, because she knows the Church of the Divine Light, right? Yeah, so, and he's all part of all that, probably, so she would know him, I'm sure. He was probably heading Project Noah, and was the one that said for Senna to come in, and her dad to come in as well, when they, like, made her mom freak out and do all the crap she did, right? With the delusions and all that. So yeah, okay. The ones who killed my mom and sister. Here to say hello to me. A long time ago, her mother and her little sister had met their gruesome ends right before her eyes. And the people before her now were the very people who had killed them. It was never my intent, Senna. With his head still hung low, the homeless man, Hatano, let out a desolate murmur. I tried to stop the experiment, but once the gears had begun to turn, I was no longer able to stop them alone. This man. Hatano took a fleeting glance at Narose's expression. Narose said nothing. His composed attitude remained unmoving. This man. He was the one who ordered the experiment's continuation. I never desired what came afterward. The fault lies with this man, Norose. Interesting, so he's putting the blame on Norose this time, instead of putting it on himself. Huh. Okay. Please understand this, Senna. Senna's repugnance billowed as she listened to his words of repentance.
You let my mom and sister die. That is an undeniable truth. If you regret it so badly, why did you run?
To protect the world.
Bullcrap!
I cannot say I admire this disobedience toward your father, miss. It was the first time Norose had spoken. Indeed, your family meeting a tragic end was the result of the order I had issued. We had already collected a significant amount of data. The experiment truly was fruitful.
Fruitful?
Senna swiftly reel-booted the D-sword she held in her hands. The resulting shockwave stirred her long black hair. Kill him, Senna! He is the source of everything!
I don't need you to tell me that!
Senna had already kicked powerfully off of the platform. Without brandishing her sword, she closed the distance. A phenomenal display of her explosive power. Her target, Norose Genichi. Oh man. She mowed him down with her D-sword. Even the air was torn to shreds. Norose's head tore free and flew away from its source. Senna followed it with her eyes, when suddenly, Norose's flying head distorted mid-flight and transformed into that of her father's. Oh no! He did the same thing that we did the last time to Suwa. Oh, frick. Stunned, she looked at the headless body that stood before her. It had been wearing a suit only a moment ago, but now it donned the clothes of a homeless man. Devoid now of any and all power, it tumbled backward lifelessly. Oh my goodness. Eyes wide as could be, Senna looked at Hatano, who had been standing just beside it. He turned to face her in return, his bearded face warped into a vicious sneer. His face contorted as if a mosaic had been affixed to it, and his body contorted in a similar fashion. The very next instant, Hatano took on the face of a man Senna did not recognize. Oh, it was Suwa! Oh no! What the frick? His age, his face, his aura, they all differed greatly from her father's. Yo, that's why. Wait, so was that all a delusion, or was that actually the two of them saying those things, but she couldn't tell that the one was her dad? So, like, were those her actual dad's words, or was that Sua's delusion? Interesting. Senna was overwhelmed with confusion. She took another unblinking look at the head she had just severed. After tracing an arc as it flew, it had splattered blood upon where it struck the concrete. It was her father's face. It was her father's head. Senna could not look away. An illusion made by a delusion. Realizing that, Senna's breathing grew shallow and ragged. You know, Senna-chan, the man who was supposed to be her father, the man who was now a completely different person, spoke Senna's name in a far too friendly way. What you did just now, doesn't it pretty much make you the same as your old man? Oh, frick. It was the result she had longed for all throughout these past 6 months. It should have been. It should have been, and yet Senna was assailed by a fierce inner turmoil. This is interesting. So last time, Suwa killed Hatano, and this time Senna actually got to, but was deceived into doing so. So that's interesting. Huh. Her father, who had been reduced to just a head, had his eyes trained directly on Senna. Decapitating your own father? Now that's gnarly. Holy crap. Still not comprehending why she was experiencing such psychological shock, Senna heard something tear deep inside her ears. Huh? Huh? I heard a voice. The scream of Senna's mind. A scream which cursed reality. A scream which emulated madness. I followed that cry all the way to Shinsen Station. By the time I got there, it was already too late. When I set foot onto the dim platform, the faint smell of blood hung in the air. Kozupi was lying against the wall, unconscious. And there on the platform was Senna, sunk to the ground, with her back facing me. Her head was pointed down, and her long hair was covering her face. I couldn't see her expression. Right beside her was a headless body. It then occurred to me that the round object lying a few meters away was the head that had once been attached to it. It was Hatano-san. The moment I realized that, I bit my lip hard. Oh man, talk about a stroke of luck! A man was standing on the tracks, contrasting heavily with the suit he was wearing. He had a rucksack on his back. A harsh mechanical noise was emanating from it. Suwa Mamoru, a detective from the Metropolitan Police Department's Investigation Division. This wasn't the first time I'd run into him. And I knew exactly what he'd done. You see, I originally came here to get rid of those annoying Hatanos. But look at who decided to crash the party! What's up, Nishijo-kun? I really, really appreciate you tossing yourself into the line of fire like that. I was told to grab you if I ran into you, so here we are. By who? That one's top secret. He smiled a flippant smile, one that was somewhat reminiscent of Detective Bond's. But there was one key difference. Detective Bond's smile had always been just an act meant to throw people off, or rile them up. When it came to Suwa, however, this sly smile was who he truly was. Hey jerk! You know where to find Narose? Oh, come on, Nishijo-kun. Suwa heaved a sigh as he shook his head in an exaggerated manner. Would it kill you to throw a bit more respect my way? I'm older than you know. With my eyes still trained on Suwa, I cautiously jumped down from the platform and onto the tracks. Senna was still motionless, so I ended up effectively shielding her back. You were the one who killed Bon. Yeah? What of it? You're a detective, yet you go as low as to kill people. That's real rich coming from you. I gripped my D-sword tightly, as if I'd ever be polite to a jerk like you. Like I said, that's real freaking rich coming from you. Even from this distance, it was clear to see. The smile on Sua's face had disappeared. You're just as much of a murderer as I am! And no, I won't let you call bullcrap. You killed Hazuki Shino! You have no idea how much I'd love to tear you to freaking shreds right now. Wait, but we didn't kill her. Oh, is that why he was so upset with us? Because he thought we killed her and he loved her or whatever? Is that what was going on? Oh my goodness, yeah, so, wait, but we didn't kill her. She straight up sliced her own throat, you know? So, I mean, get your facts straight, brother. Hazuki Shino, the nurse who had been the real new-gen culprit. She and Sua were both disciples of the Cosmic Church of the Divine Light. Was that all? I gulped audibly. For the sake of the Divine Light's salvation, I'll restrain myself. But in exchange, I will make absolutely sure to murder your heart and mind. I attempted to brandish my D-sword, but it was obvious that I wouldn't be able to do anything. It was just a reflex. And, just like I'd expected, I wasn't able to do anything at all. Oh no! Oh my goodness, where are we now? What the frick? I found myself in a dimly lit room. In that room was a single man, talking to another much older man through a large screen. Suwa-kun, I have prepared a form of training I'd like for you and Hazuki-kun to undertake. Hazuki-kun, don't you mean Chan? What the frick? Or San? Yes, sir. Whatever you ask. I want you to kill. Who is it that I'll be killing, sir? There is no particular reasoning regarding who. Humbly, sir. May I hear more? Let us say there are no exact rules on the matter. Simply obey the orders of whom to kill and how to kill them. To bring about the completion of Project Noah, it is crucial that we enact a psychological attack upon the boy known as Nishijo Takami. An attack, sir? You must instill in him the greatest of terrors. But beware, for the boy harbors a frightening power. Direct engagements will require extreme caution. Therefore, I ask that you create a string of abnormal incidents, a set of grotesque serial killings. Murdering people just for that? Having doubts. Is Shino to take part in this training? Why, of course. This is all to build our utopia of the Divine Light. You two shall bring about the salvation of the Divine Light. If that is what you command, then it shall be done. Incidentally, Hazuki-kun has blessed us with a child within her womb. Pray tell, how soon is the delivery? 2 months, sir. Offer it forth. Offer your child so that we may bathe in the salvation of the Divine Light. Yo, what the frick kind of Molech frickin' Ashira pole building frickin' ball worshipping people are these? Brother? Excuse me? They ordered the... Oh, that's right, because she even said that, didn't she? That was part of that. Or I don't know if she said it explicitly, but she did say that it was ordered for her to do all the killings, so that would be... Oh my gosh! Dude, what the frick? That's gross, brother. It's like the old gods come back to life. What the frick? You wish for me to kill it? It is a holy sacrifice. Offer your child, and you will both bring about the great salvation of the divine light. The great salvation of the divine light. With pleasure, sir. All will be as the glorious founder commands. I know Shino will be similarly pleased. May the divine light save us. Yo, we just got a blink, we got a glimpse into his mind right now. Suddenly, an insanely powerful wind blew against me. It pushed me backward hard, nearly knocking me over. I tried desperately to brace myself against it. However, my body didn't do what I asked. Instead, my body curled up into a ball on the spot. My body wouldn't listen to me. It moved by itself. It was like my body wasn't my own. Huh? Before I knew it, my surroundings had gone completely dark. When I looked below, I saw the nightscape spreading out before me. If I didn't know any better, I could have easily mistaken all of the lights as a sky full of stars. I suddenly realized that I was standing somewhere ridiculously high up. Beside me were 4 men and women I'd never met. Oh, he's in the group dive, what the frick? We are going to experience all of the deaths, aren't we? The last one we had we had 2 of them. We had the second one and the, what was that one? The 4th one, I think, the brain one? So this is the first one, oh no. No. I knew one of them. Yua. For some reason, though, she wasn't wearing her glasses. Oh, she was in that. Oh my goodness, she was in the group dive. I had a feeling. Did we figure that out last time? We might have, and I just don't remember. I can't remember. I feel like we knew that already. But my brain's having a lapse in memory, so we probably already know that. But, anyway, we probably already knew that. No. That wasn't Yua. It was Mia, Yua's younger twin sister. The one who should have died a month ago. Which meant this was the roof of Cornelius Tower. My body wasn't my own. I was wearing a school uniform I didn't recognize. Even the body type was brawnier than my own. And when I saw that there were 4 other people huddled together on the ground, wailing loudly as tears poured down their faces, it led me to guess what exactly was happening. This body that my consciousness had invaded belonged to one of the 5 victims who had died in the first New Gen case, the group dive. Through no will of my own, my field of vision, ever so slowly, panned over toward the helipad. Shogun had filmed the video, so he should have been here somewhere. There, Shogun was wearing a Darth Spider helmet on his head and a black cloak draped over his body. When Shogun had cornered me at O-Front, he'd been wearing something similar. But was this guy actually Shogun? No. His legs were slightly peeking out from his black cloak. He was very clearly wearing slacks. In addition, his legs were thick, like those of a healthy adult male's. They weren't the skinny, pathetic legs that belonged to Shogun, to Nishijo Takami. No bones protruded from them. And when I looked closer, I realized that even his sitting height was completely different. The cloak kept them hidden, but his shoulders also looked fairly broad. At the very least, the man wasn't Nishijo Takami. And he wasn't carrying a video camera. Suddenly, from the darkness spreading out behind the fake Shogun. I heard footsteps. Dragging footsteps. And not just one set of them. It wasn't a hallucination. The strange footsteps belonged to many, many people. There had to be several dozen unknown entities lurking in the darkness. The footsteps hadn't been in the video that had been uploaded to YouTube. Not to mention there shouldn't have been any way for this many people to have gained access to the helipad. Then, what the heck was this sound? The 4 others beside me continued to wail in grief. Through no will of my own, my body similarly let out a cry, and then began to tremble. Huh? Something was coming closer. If I was in a low-budget horror movie, those dragging footsteps would have been zombies. Zombies with both arms hanging limply in front of them. Their decaying bodies slowly swaying as they walked. But that was just in the movies. In reality, and especially in 21st century Tokyo, there was no way a horde of zombies could possibly just show up like that. But if that was the case, then my heart felt like it was going to seize up in terror. I wanted to look away. But the owner of the body I invaded refused to do so. Finally, the unknown entities began to emerge from the darkness. They choked all remaining space on the helipad, sealing off our escape route. I wasn't sure if it was right to call it anticlimactic, but the ones who appeared were perfectly normal people. They wore suits, school uniforms, parkas, and they were of all different ages and sexes. But they were still all people you'd expect to find walking around Shibuya at night, save for one thing. Every one of them, the nearly 100 people, was gripping some sort of something. None of them said a word, nor even tried to. All that could be heard was their raspy nasal breaths pooling together into a something. For some reason, I couldn't see their expressions very well. It was like their faces were made of paint, their faces were blurry and disfigured. Were their faces actually deformed? Or was my sight itself the problem? I didn't know. They were sluggishly, yet steadily coming towards us. They were like robots that had been programmed with a single mission. I thought that perhaps the fake Shogun was ordering them around, but that didn't seem to be the case. Every once in a while, they had moved the wheelchair. Okay, the 5 people had been cornered, and now they had nowhere to run. In order to escape from that rooftop, they had no choice but to dive. Grasping their blades, the mob grew closer, closer and closer, little by little. Eventually, they were within reaching distance. And yet, even in these final moments, they all stayed completely silent. As well as this, even to jump to their feet. I can't read that fast, but this strange behavior served, terrifying enough to make me think. I need to get out of here, even if it means I have to jump. Whose eyes are those eyes? I heard an unexpected voice. The voice of the real Shogun, Nishijo Takumi. However, I hadn't heard it from the man wearing the Darth Spider helmet, but from overhead. And it seemed like I hadn't been the only one. As if they'd rehearsed it, the 5 people stood up, joined hands with one another, and looked up. Naturally, only the starry sky spread across the night. Shogun was nowhere to be found. Mind reading. Whose eyes are those eyes? My field of vision slowly panned. And then, I saw something strange. Why am I not allowed to have control of this? Even though the nightscape should have been the only thing spreading out below me, I saw a long flight. It led right to the roof of the adjacent building, not Sign City, which was across the Metropolitan Highway, but the building nestled up close to Cornelius Tower. A building nestled close to Cornelius Tower. A fact that didn't make any sense, because no such building. Even so, the 5 people held no suspicion that the staircase was delusional. After all, they had been saved by it. These thoughts, people strictly within me, they stepped forward. I can't read that fast. Hand in hand. They had yet to let go even once. It was something. None of them had possessed something. So when the staircase had convinced them that it was real, it had disappeared. The empty something falling. Wind pressure violently assaulted my body. The shrieks of the girl next to me emulated howls of the most terrifying beasts. She clutched my hand so tightly. The time it took for us to fall. The dark earth rushed. Our surroundings were so dark. I started to hallucinate. I can't read that, and then... Wow. The bodies of 5 people collided with the earth. Dang, why don't they give me control over that? That's weird. With a sickening crunch, they were pulverized. The pain struck without me expecting it. A single blow that led straight to death. The impact felt like my entire body had exploded and then been ground into a fine powder from the inside out. I felt the sensation of my heart violently contracting from the shock. And then, my consciousness was severed.